Joseph Boakai Sr. is a veteran Liberian politician. His career in public service spans several decades. He first entered the political arena in 1983. In that year, he served as Minister of Agriculture under President Samuel Doe. This early role highlighted his interest in agricultural development. This focus would remain a theme throughout his career. His educational background and early professional experiences deeply shaped his commitment to public service. He has consistently shown a dedication to improving the lives of ordinary Liberians, particularly those in rural communities. His early work laid the foundation for his long journey in national politics. Mr. Boakai served a significant tenure as Liberia's vice president. He held this office from 2006 to 2018. He worked alongside President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Africa's first elected female head of state. During these 12 years, he gained invaluable experience in the complexities of national governance. One of his key constitutional duties was presiding over the Liberian Senate. This role provided him with deep insights into the legislative process. His vice presidency coincided with Liberia's critical post-war recovery and rebuilding phase. He played a part in shaping policies aimed at peace consolidation and economic revival during this challenging period for the nation. The journey to the highest office was a long one for Mr. Boakai. He contested the presidential elections and emerged victorious in 2023. He successfully defeated the incumbent, George Weah, in a closely watched race. This election marked an important democratic transition for Liberia. Mr. Boakai was officially inaugurated as president in January 2024. His ascension to the presidency was met with considerable hope and high expectations from the Liberian populace. Many citizens look to his administration to address pressing national challenges. These challenges include economic revitalization and strengthening the rule of law. Beyond his formal political roles, President Boakai has also been involved in various development and philanthropic efforts. He has been a proponent of infrastructure development. This includes championing road construction projects to improve connectivity across Liberia. He has also contributed to building schools and clinics. These efforts aim to enhance social services for the population. Furthermore, Mr. Boakai has been involved in initiatives for rural electrification, seeking to bring power to underserved areas. His expertise in agriculture has seen him consult on agricultural policy and review various farming programs over the years. He is married to Katumu Boakai, and they share 4 children, grounding his public life with strong family ties. Upon assuming the presidency, Joseph Boakai made tackling corruption a central theme of his administration. He clearly signaled his intent to wage a determined war on graft. This was a significant promise given the widespread public concern about corruption in Liberia. The previous administration, under George Weah, had faced numerous accusations of corruption. These allegations had eroded public trust in government institutions. President Boakai's campaign heavily emphasized the need for integrity and accountability in public office. The Liberian people expressed an urgent desire for tangible reforms to curb corrupt practices. His early actions were therefore keenly observed by citizens and international partners alike. A landmark decision came in May 2025, underscoring his administration's tough stance. President Boakai announced the suspension of over 450 top government officials. This group included government ministers and other high-ranking members of the executive branch. The primary reason cited for this drastic measure was their failure to declare their assets. They were required to submit these declarations to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, LACC. Such a large-scale suspension of senior officials for this reason was a notable event in Liberia's recent political history. It sent a strong message about the new government's commitment to enforcing anti-corruption laws. The terms of the suspension were clear and stringent. The affected officials were placed on unpaid leave. They were given a 1-month period to comply with the asset declaration requirements. Alternatively, their suspension would continue until they fulfilled this legal obligation. Reports indicated that following the announcement, some of the suspended officials promptly visited the LACC offices. They went to begin the process of making their declarations. This immediate response suggested that the president's directive was being taken seriously. The measure was designed not just as a punitive action, but to compel adherence to existing legal frameworks regarding financial transparency for public servants. This decisive action by President Boakai is rooted in Liberia's constitutional and legal framework. The primary legal basis is Article 90C of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia. This important article mandates the establishment of a code of conduct for all public officials. It explicitly requires them to declare their assets and liabilities. These declarations are intended to be accessible to the public employer and the general public. The LACC is the designated body responsible for receiving, verifying, and investigating these asset declarations. Therefore, the president's move was not an arbitrary exercise of power. Instead, it was an enforcement of constitutional provisions aimed at promoting transparency and accountability. President Boakai has sought to lead by example in his drive for greater accountability. A notable instance of this was his announcement in July 2024. He declared that he would voluntarily reduce his own salary. The reduction was substantial, amounting to 40% of his presidential pay. This personal sacrifice was a powerful symbolic gesture. It was designed to resonate with the economic challenges faced by many ordinary Liberians daily. Such a move by a head of state is uncommon. It signaled a departure from previous practices and aimed to set a new standard for public service. The president provided clear reasons for this significant salary cut. He stated that the decision was aimed at strengthening government accountability. It was also intended as a demonstration of solidarity with the Liberian people. By reducing his own emoluments, President Boakai intended to set a moral precedent. He hoped this would encourage other public officials to adopt a similar mindset of service over personal enrichment. This action was widely reported. It sought to begin rebuilding the crucial element of public trust in the nation's leadership. It showed a willingness to share in the country's economic burdens. In addition to personal gestures, the Boakai administration has instituted broader measures. One such initiative is the requirement for all government officials to make a national integrity pledge. This pledge is a formal commitment. It binds officials to uphold core principles of integrity in their conduct. It also includes commitments to transparency and accountability in the execution of their public duties. The Integrity Pledge serves as a constant reminder of the ethical standards expected from those in positions of power. It aims to foster a culture of honesty and responsibility within the government service. This is a crucial step towards systemic change. These national efforts to combat corruption align with established global standards. The asset declaration requirements enforced by the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission are consistent with international best practices. Specifically, they are in line with the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC. Liberia is a state party to this important international treaty. Article 8(5) of UNCAC explicitly calls for member states to establish effective systems. These systems should require public officials to make declarations of their outside activities, employment, investments, assets, and substantial gifts. This demonstrates Liberia's commitment to integrating international anti-corruption norms into its domestic legal and administrative framework. The requirement for asset declaration is fundamental to President Boakai's anti-corruption strategy. He has repeatedly emphasized that asset declaration is not merely a suggestion, but a legal obligation. This practice is crucial for promoting transparency within government operations. It serves as a vital tool in preventing potential conflicts of interest among public officials. A key objective of rigorously enforcing this requirement is to restore public trust in state institutions. According to Liberian law, officials are mandated to declare their assets before assuming their respective offices. They must also do so upon leaving their government positions, ensuring a cycle of accountability. The strong anti-corruption measures implemented by President Boakai have drawn a range of reactions. These reactions have come from the public, political analysts, and civil society organizations. Political analyst Abdullah Kiatamba, for instance, expressed support for the president's firm stance on asset declaration. However, Mr. Kiatamba also pointed out potential challenges in the submission and verification process for these declarations. Not all feedback has been uniformly positive. Some civil society groups, such as Solidarity and Trust for a New Day, have been more critical. They have characterized the mass suspension of officials as a largely symbolic gesture, questioning its long-term impact without deeper systemic reforms. Despite the bold steps, President Boakai's administration faces ongoing challenges and scrutiny regarding the consistency of its anti-corruption fight. One prominent case highlighted by critics involves Commerce Inspector General Dor Cooper. Mr. Cooper was implicated in an academic fraud scandal at the University of Liberia. The university subsequently declared him persona non grata and revoked his degree. Critics have questioned the perceived lack of swift action from the president's office regarding Mr. Cooper, despite public statements from the university. In response, the presidential press secretary, Kula Fofana, stated that no official communication from the University of Liberia concerning Mr. Cooper had been received by the president's office, while some party officials cited due process. The overall impact of President Boakai's anti-corruption measures will unfold over time. His early actions, particularly the mass suspensions and salary cut, have certainly sent a strong signal of intent. However, achieving lasting change in Liberia's governance landscape requires sustained and unwavering effort. This includes the consistent enforcement of laws and regulations for all officials, regardless of their position. The Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission reported having 45 ongoing investigations based on public reports as of the second quarter of 2024, indicating continued activity. Furthermore, the suspension of the managing director of the National Insurance Company of Liberia, Nicole North-Tujapa, and board chairman Joseph Sando Mamolu for alleged financial improprieties shows further specific actions. The journey towards full transparency and robust public integrity in Liberia is undeniably challenging but essential.